but Pragg, given his age, I'm guessing he hasn't played that many Blitz tournaments yet, so
right. And
he
can
call this a great practice.
Right. And they are off. Bishop c4, Joko piano, bishop b5. Here we go. Rui with the knight e7. No.
Knight f6. We got used to saying knight e7, knight g6.
Right. So much so that I had
You're
pre-moved.
Expecting it now. All right, d6. Hikaru's been playing, well, he's tried a lot of openings in this event.
Mm. Normally, I'm used, Peter, to seeing the move a4 as opposed to bishop e3 in that line.
Yeah, he's done this against Pragg in a tournament. I think actually in the first round he's done exactly that against Pragg. And the game was a very, very uneventful draw. Mm-hmm. Bishop e6, bishop takes e6, fe. But today, yeah, he chooses to play on because there it felt like he was not really very interested in trying to achieve any kind of an opening advantage. And I was wondering if he just plans to repeat the entire experience, take on e6, play that very symmetrical position to a draw. But no, here he does choose to play a game of chess.
Well, there is the half-open f-file that he might be trying to exploit with queen g3, knight f5. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like, well, this bishop on c2, knight.
Yeah, queen g3 is pretty much always well met by knight h5, and in fact, maybe it even helps black because he would like to play knight h5 and then follow it up with g6 and king g7. Yeah, but Pragg goes knight g6. I'm not sure if I like the idea of allowing knight f5. We can maybe... No, I don't like bishop takes f5 here.
Fixing the white's pawn structure?
Yeah, improving the structure. And I no longer really like d6, d5. I think the last couple of moves were perhaps not the cleanest solutions by Pragg, yeah.
In these positions, I do think that the move d6, d5.
Yes, it's very central to what black is doing, but I would have much preferred to do it with the knight still on h4.
Right. Very, very much so.
I'm keeping an eye on the other games. So far, everything looks somewhat equal.
Okay.
But interesting games going on for sure. The last round, all the players are going all out, right?
Yeah.
Not much to lose.
This is it. A 1 minute think? A6, A5.
Yeah, you need to find a plan. Not easy in this position.
I think if I had given you 5 guesses, or if you had given me 5 guesses, I would have guessed A5. I would have king H7, bishop F5, D5.
Interestingly, this is how the machine plays this position, but not on this move, but on the previous one. On the previous one, it just said we can play A5. If white goes queen G3, we can always go king H8. And it says, you are not really threatening me with anything at all on the king side. I do not have to react to anything you're doing over there. Hang on a second. Can we take on b3 and go c4 here?
I think you should try that, actually.
Yeah, that looked attractive. That looked attractive because I think breaking up the structure was
very much
quite
required.
an option. Yeah, quite an option. But
here, bishop c4 and
blockading on white squares.
Yeah, there's ideas of bishop b5. And
we can go d5, e5, knight d5, but after knight e4, it becomes a bit awkward. I like king h7. I like kind of putting all of my ducks in a row first before committing to anything in the center.
Okay, queen g3 just to hang out. Queen... No, I don't like queen e2, actually.
It's...
Yeah, queen g3 is possible, but then maybe even takes, and rook b2 would have been playable. Interesting choice of c takes b4. Both c takes and rook b4 appear to be playable. Yeah, I don't mind rook takes. And now we want to go d5, I think, and take with the bishop. Because we want that knight on d2 not to get to the e4 square. I don't mind it on c4 all that much, because b3 will be quite weak, but I don't like it on e4. I think d5, e5, bishop d5 should be...
Looking king side, just reminding...
I want to, in particular in a blitz game, I would like not to get mated today, in as much as possible.
Nasi, I just have the feeling that Hikaru has been playing a la tempo and the clock times. Help me out.
4 minutes for Hikaru.
4 minutes.
And 2.5 for Pragg.
We know he is a blitz demon.
What would you take here with? He took with a D pawn. No more D5 for black.
Right? There's something about that I do like now because
We have
there
the
is a
open
tender
D-file.
pawn, and for the moment, B3 is well covered.
Not really in love with that decision, though, because...
By Pragg.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it makes White's life a lot easier.
Truly.
You're still okay. Nothing particularly bad has happened. I think one thing that needs to be resolved here is we need to find something to do for the knight on G6. So there's two ways of thinking about it. Knight E7 takes F5, or you can go like rook E8, knight F8, knight E6, and try to pretend that eventually it will land on G5 and exert some pressure against the pawn on E4. But that feels like a bit of a dreamland scenario, you know. I don't think we're going to be exerting much pressure against anything here with black. We're just going to be keeping our shape and trying not to blunder the pawn on D6 or the pawn on A5.
Whoa.
Yeah,
knight G3.
I guess he wants it over on B5. I guess knight E2, knight C3, knight B5. I wouldn't have done that. I think I would very much like to force black to
React.
yeah to drive it away, and then I would get it over to B5.
Well, the good news is that when Hikaru's knight does land on B5, that will free the knight
The
on
other
D2 from the protection of the pawn on B3, and then he can remaneuver his knights and focus against D6.
This is a long maneuvering game.
Right? For a blitz game, it's quite...
And knights are very tricky in the blitz.
Yes.
But it's a very close position.
I don't know if rook takes F6 was a threat or not.
There was a moment where rook takes F6 was very, very strong, but
Yeah.
it was just a moment, and it was some time ago.
But this move, queen b1, by the way, set up a knight d5 sighting and a discovered check, which is why Pragg dropped his king away.
Yeah.
No, knight B5.
Hang on, is knight D5 just... Knight D5, knight B4, I guess, is the plan.
Lucky.
Yeah, because otherwise it's crushing.
Right. Oops. Knight d5, knight b4. Just
Knight F6, queen takes F6 is also important to note. Yeah. Well, obviously, both of them have
F3.
seen this entire line and decided against it.
Pragg under 1 minute.
Rook f3. Okay. Rook f1 on White's agenda. By the way, I would be very eager to capture and sacrifice an exchange if the opportunity arose. Rook back to b7.
Pragg is stable for now. He will not have any active play for maybe ever. But nothing is hanging, and nothing really will be hanging for quite some time with a knight on b4. And I like rook b7, rook d7. Getting that rook to a square where it covers both d6 and f7.
Yeah, two potential weaknesses are
How
being
does White
protected.
improve that D2 knight?
Yeah, exactly. You definitely want knight b1 to c3, and
Maybe
I don't
he
know
wants-
if you're eager to jump to e5. I get rid
But
of
we
this
can't
knight.
move the knight because the E4 pawn is hanging.
Let's go h4. I give that knight.
Yeah, I
the
think
boot.
he's trying to provoke it, and I don't think it's such a bad move. I mean,
Okay,
Knight
he's finally Hikaru is finally getting the setup
If he wants.
that he wants.
Yeah,
Now
but-
again, if you play the move knight f6, I will be eager to
Oh, yeah.
sacrifice.
I think
the
you
exchange.
you have to.
Wow.
And I like that he provokes it too. I think it's the correct way to go about things. We need to have something for our suffering. Like otherwise, White has all the play, and we're not even up material. This way, you ask Hikaru to at least give up something.
By the way, we have a result. Wesley drew his game against Knotted Back.
That was important because Wesley came in the
In clear second.
Yes, exactly. So we don't
Knight
sacrifice.
c3, but now we go knight g4, h5, and at least we have one very good piece.
Sorry, knight g4, rook f5.
Rook f5, though. Yeah, that is annoying. Yeah. Okay, if we have to go backwards, we are in trouble here.
Knight D5 or not yet?
I'm
By the way,
uncertain.
if Firouzja is playing for a win, he has an extra pawn.
Firouzja against MVL, big game. And again, I just feel like Hikaru is blitzing out his moves and Pragg is playing slowly.
This is very much, it
10
resembles
seconds.
a great deal their game from yesterday, where Hikaru just said, I wanted to keep the game afloat for as long as possible and just let Pragg sort of stew in his own juices, and eventually, under the pressure, he will start making mistakes. And this is what happened yesterday, and this is what appears to be happening today again. Knight d5 looks very strong.
Knight d5.
We can prepare it for a
compelling.
couple of more moves, because really black is now completely stuck. There is nothing you can do with any of your pieces. There is just nothing to aim for. We're never taking on b5. We cannot really, I cannot imagine a situation where we can play g6. Rook f6 is now a threat. Let's not blunder rook f6. Yep.
Right. With the queen on g3, the move rook f6.
And this is why I didn't like taking on c4.
Knight to a6, I guess it's just a move. It's a tempo. But
I mean, the other one could come to e7 maybe. Like we're swapping the knights out. Like we want the other one on c6, e7, and this one will go to yeah. I'm definitely playing knight before c6. Yeah, I think e7 is a good square. A much better square than we had. Perhaps we will be able to do something about life. Yeah, knight d5 maybe now. No? Okay. Knight e7.
G3.
just a lot of shuffling, messy back and forth
Yeah, I
between
think
the
Hikaru
players.
just can't find some idea to make Pragg think, because Pragg has been playing with 8 seconds for past 15 moves, I think.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in king h2, queen h3? Would you like to trade queens?
Maybe. And then I can double on D and go after the d6 pawn.
Right. Knight back to g8.
Yeah. It's just a shuffle. I don't think. I was briefly interested in the idea of playing f5, but that might just lose the game on the spot once the f file opens. We don't have the best pieces in the world for that. And yeah, you always take on d5 the moment it appears, because yeah, you can't tolerate that piece.
Taken with.
And in a way, it makes your life simpler because it's sort of more defined now. You know where you stand. Queen e1, you have rook a8, or
Queen e1.
queen d8, I guess. Yeah.
Gift me the pawn.
No. Queen d8 still exists.
e4. No.
You might have to play. I mean, do we actually play f6 so that we no longer have to think about that, or do we not?
Probably wait until
Yeah.
we absolutely have
Because
to.
I would like to be able to make some moves with my knight, and without f6, I don't think I will ever be able to. f6, knight e7, but then it has no squares anyway. Like I don't know which moves I want to make with it. Maybe f6, rook b, f7, knight e7, and try to push for f5. I can imagine some scenarios where you actually actively want to play f6.
Do we understand why Hikaru is not playing the move e3, e4?
He keeps that square open, maybe just in case, for
Yeah.
knight to reroute in the future.
Okay, we have a king walk, and maybe
Okay.
in this case, g4, g5.
So he's going to
In
Put the
other
king on
news,
A2 or something?
Jan's game will probably be a draw. MPL is likely losing to
We have a
Ali
crucial,
Reza.
there was a crucial decision there, f7, f6.
It finally happened, yeah, because
Yeah.
now we are pushing the pieces away. Yeah, this is now
F5.
even takes is okay. No, hang on, this is a queen on f2. I'm mixing up the heavy pieces here. yeah.
Right.
4g3, knight g8. No, this is a game now. Our pieces are going to, with the king on d1, you're not entirely
Yeah.
safe.
The timing of the
three
king
results
walk.
now.
Yeah, the timing of the king walk.
You can take on f4 3 times, though. I think white is probably still better. Oh,
knight
gf,
f6 is
gf
really
knight
good.
f6 with fe5, queen e5. Yeah, this is now, you have to play knight h7. Queen e3 was good. You have to play knight
16
knight g4.
seconds against 4
Queen
seconds.
g1, I guess, yeah. Queen g1, knight f6 back, but now...
Queen g6, very
Yeah, we can-
purposefully played there by
Takes F, good move.
Hikaru. Well, we can take on e8, take on f4.
Rook e5 is a good
e5,
move. I like
very
rook
nice.
e5. We're much more interested in the h5 pawn than the e4 pawn.
And Hikaru said, "I agree.
Yeah.
I like my h5 pawn."
Yeah,
King
we don't
C2?
need to commit to anything just yet. I like king g8 as well.
King c2, king d3.
Now we can rook e7
King
maybe.
c2 finally.
Yeah.
Okay, but the rooks were really tied up
Ali
to that
Reza
h pawn.
defeated MBL.
Did he?
He finishes the tournament with a win.
Rook e5. Yeah. We're okay. I think knight e4. King e7, I guess. Yeah, king e7 now.
Our extra pawn, that pawn on b3,
Rook
is not the
e1.
most meaningful.
No. I think if not for the fact that they're playing on 3 seconds and Hikaru probably commits fewer mistakes on 3 seconds. Black is probably just completely fine now.
Right.
Knight g4, knight e5.
It's very nice on e5.
The knight.
Or even put it back on f6 and ask white to make
He almost
any
went king
progress.
c1 and blundered rook g3.
The knight doesn't reach e2 from g4.
Oh, never mind.
I
Then why did he hesitate?
don't know. By the way, they're really playing with seconds on their clocks, aren't they? Ooh. I don't. Knight takes.
What did that pawn get
Wow.
there?
Knight f6. No. Knight.
They're
5
both
seconds.
playing as if their lives depend on the
Oh, I
outcome.
think white is
Rook f3.
Rook
now.
f3, threatening
King f8.
queen.
King of
King of
f8.
eight.
King of f8. No, this is still a game.
Knight.
Oh, the other pawn is now pushing to
Knight
the
takes
d-pawn.
g5. Where are we going? Knight
3
takes
seconds.
g5. Knight takes g5.
Rook h3 check.
c2, b2. It's to hide
Yeah,
on
knight takes
e3.
c5 is also coming in, yeah. Rook h1.
Oh, almost
b4. Hang on.
What the heck is going on? This game just flares anew. Knight takes g5.
Yeah. Knight takes g5 wins, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Knight
Yes,
takes
knight
g5.
g5 just
And he has
attacks
17
rook.
seconds to find
And
it.
he
Yeah.
found it.
There we go.
And there was a banging of the pawn as Hikaru's won. But in all of that, because MVL lost, it means Wesley secured second.